Overwatch is a type of game that has abilities, so it has like a MOBA aspect to it, and a lot of heroes will counter other heroes purely based on abilities. And I think one of the reasons there's a staleness in meta a lot of times is because there's not enough heroes to actually like play around each other a lot. I think, and one of the reasons there's so much staleness in supports is because there's so few supports to play. And I even think at one point when there's enough heroes, you could add like a hero banning system. So like right now it wouldn't really work because there's not enough, and banning one hero would like affect a strong core of Overwatch. But if you add like a banning system, it would kind of like artificially make it so there isn't like a meta per se.
Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. First of all, I want to say what an amazing piece of media coming from Blitz Esports Overwatch. This video is going to be in the description box below. Other projects that they've put out, their content quality is absolutely top tier, so huge shout out to them. Definitely go check it out. Additionally to that, I want to say congratulations to LA Gladiators Surefour. It's going to be the guy that we're seeing here on the screen. Huge congratulations to the newly announced Overwatch League branding that came out today, as well as his involvement, Surefour being a former professional player for Cloud9. So this is a topic that I was actually going to talk about a little bit here on the channel, about half of it, but I decided to go ahead and turn it into its own video, and that is the MOBA aspect of Overwatch. And I'm going to kind of go on a tangent on this on my own, and also to talk about the idea that you could have a hero banning system in Overwatch, because this is brought up before. This is not a new concept. It's definitely not a new concept in terms of MOBAs. So it's something that we need to explore and discuss within Overwatch. So first, I kind of want to do my little riff of talking about the MOBA aspect of Overwatch. And what is the MOBA aspect? Because I'm sure a lot of people that are playing Overwatch have come over because it's an FPS, have come over because it's a Blizzard game, but maybe not have really played MOBAs. So MOBAs are, multiplayer online battle arenas. They're your League of Legends, your Dotas, your Heroes of the Storm, and other games like that. It's that very top-down aerial view. Smite is a MOBA, but that's a third person, so a little bit different. But the team aspect of the game, and kind of like the niche of that game, is usually a 5-player team, and you have roles, so similar to Overwatch, you have heroes or champions, and they have their own abilities with ultimates. In this aspect, Overwatch is very much like a MOBA. And the reason I think Surefour is bringing this up is to say that you will always have a very rock, paper, scissor-esque type interaction between certain heroes. And even sometimes, and this happens a lot with development, especially games that push out a lot of heroes, you will have heroes that were not developed or designed to be direct counters to other heroes, that because of the nature of the evolution of the game, because of power creep, because of new implementations, they end up being very strong counters. So understanding the MOBA aspect of Overwatch is important to know that in a game like Overwatch, there will be more hero implementation, and those new hero implementations, those new designs, new ultimates, new abilities will always change the way that we play. It's also important to note that in games like this, and this was the kind of tangent that I wanted to go on, you're never going to have a game where every hero is viable. And I think this is something that is kind of a misconception, and the kind of ideology of balancing within Overwatch. There simply will be heroes in this game that will never be totally viable. And I don't mean not viable in any scenario where they're just useless throwaway heroes, but they're not viable in the majority of scenarios. For example, I want to look at Hollywood as a map. It's kind of the map that I have on my mind. First Point Hollywood, the heroes that you can use on defense First Point Hollywood are much different because of the geography of the map than heroes that you would want to use in the street phase of Hollywood. For example, Pharah is really good at both points, but she really shines in the street phase because of the high ground, while a hero more like Torbjorn would do much better and on the first point and not so great on the second point. So it is kind of important to understand the interactions of the maps, of the comps, of the heroes and counters, to understand that type of MOBA aspect in terms of the rock, paper, scissors game that we are playing. And again, to understand that there will just be heroes that will never have their kind of well-roundedness to them that makes them feel like they can be picked in a lot of scenarios. So when you have people that like to one trick or people that like to, play a specific hero, you also have to know that there are going to be heroes that will always be the heroes that are unfavorable to have, and that will probably always be an issue within Overwatch. Again, just kind of wanted to put that on the table, just kind of wanted to discuss that and to let you know that that is the nature of the MOBA-esque like heroes, with the, the difference of Overwatch from MOBAs, where you don't pick a single hero and that's who you play. You can change heroes. So you're gonna have probably from the, from now to the end of time, heroes that will not be the best pick that people will play. Now, on to the kind of secondary discussion about hero banning. Now, this is something that I've heard a lot about. People bring it up all the time, and I don't think that it's innately a bad idea. I think the most important thing to understand about it is that right now, in the current iteration of Overwatch, with the 25, 26 heroes that we have, it is not really possible. Because a hero banning system essentially does two things. One, it actively kind of like changes the meta, as Surefour said. It makes it to where as soon as you know what the meta is, say you have a comp in your head, right during that banning phase at the beginning of the match or in between maps, that is no longer available to you. If you have a dive meta, and let's say Lucio was very core to the dive meta, Winston very core to the dive meta, is banned, well then suddenly your strategy needs to change. And thus the meta doesn't evolve and become just the meta. It's more of different iterations and different variations of the meta. And I think that is probably the most important and the best part about a hero banning system. And I will say that I do think eventually, maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 3 years, we will have a hero banning system. But right now, the reason that's not going to work is because at minimum, you would have both teams ban one hero, and we only have currently 4 healers. So it gets weird where you would essentially be able to almost ban out an entire role, or you'd be able to ban out, 2 strong hit scan heroes and play Pharah. And I don't think that's innately a bad thing. That would create strategy for teams where, hey, Team A banned Soldier 76. Do we want to ban McCree and make this a fair mercy game on both sides of the field? But I do think it's going to be more important to see something like that down the line, where banning 2 hit scan or banning 2 healers isn't actually an issue, and forcing something like Fair Mercy or, forcing something like dive only or off healer only type comps. So it's definitely something to toy around with, something to kind of understand, but at the same time not something to say like, hey, we need this in Season 7, we have to be able to ban heroes, Torbjorn is stupid, I don't want people playing him, so I want to ban him. Who would ban him? How would that work in the competitive system outside of the pro play? I don't know. Who knows if we're ever going to get something like that. But again, I think to kind of recap a little bit, the most important thing about understanding the MOBA aspect of Overwatch is just the fact that you will always have heroes in this game that won't be optimal, that, won't be really what you want to have on your team, that won't feel viable. And that's kind of okay. They will always try to do the best to get people balanced as best they can, but it's the nature of niche heroes, it's the nature of, different geography on the maps to kind of have heroes that are very good at certain points and certain things like defending or attacking or diving or deathballing, and are also just not so good at those certain things. Now, on the front of having a hero ban system, I think it's important to note that it is something that I do think will work in Overwatch. It's something that I think is a bit away, though, again, to kind of explain, we just don't simply have enough heroes for it. It would change the game too much right now in too strong a way to even ban only, 2 heroes per map. If you were able to ban out entire types of heroes like projectiles, or, the 2 strong hit scan heroes, it would change the meta in a really weird way. Ban out 2, dive tanks and force a specific meta, or ban out even just 2 healers would be very odd, but it is something that I could see in the future of competitive Overwatch. So definitely something to keep our eyes on, definitely something that's worth exploring and kind of understanding why that would want to be implemented and how it would actually work. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please do not leave out leaving a like and subscribe for future content. I appreciate it again. The channel is actually just blowing up, and it's been super exciting to talk to new people. Check out the links in the description below. We still are running our 1K giveaway. We're getting closer and closer to that. Check out the previous video talking about the team announcement and kind of the community involvement that I want to have, and join our Discord. That's super important to me. So I appreciate it again. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel the fire inside of me? Do you see the sparks that I'm setting free? Does the beat take you over? You just